before I give this to Candice, I just want to explain a little bit about what we're doing here. Because if you've never seen this before, you might think this is really strange. Why does the church have a bathtub built into it? So, let me explain the symbolism of what baptism means, okay? So, if you can imagine this water, it's going to sound a bit morbid for a second. If you can imagine this water, it's like a grave, okay? So, when I put Candice under the water, it talks about, the symbolism means that Candice is like putting to death the old version of her. The old version of her that's sinful, that belongs to the world, that's influenced, by everyone else that's not God. Does that make sense? And that's why we call it, and when I raise her up out of the water, she's been resurrected as a new person that God lives inside of, and a new person that has a relationship with God. And so the Bible talks about being born again, being reborn. Now we're not talking about a physical rebirth, because that would be really awkward for your mum. It's a spiritual rebirth, okay? And that's what Jesus has done for us. He's given us this opportunity to be made into a new creation, made into a new person. And we're not talking about a physical, we're talking about a spiritual rebirth. So does that make sense? So that's what the symbolism of baptism means. It means when we put to death the old sinful version of us and we lift up a new born again version of us. Now, that doesn't mean that you never sin again. Okay? It doesn't mean that at all. It's got nothing to do with that. What it has to do with is this new version of ourselves is in a relationship with God. And it's a gracious relationship that God has already forgiven the sins that we've done in the past and the sins we're going to do in the future. Does that make sense? Yeah. So Candice has got a little testimony of part of her journey that she would like to share with you. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about this when I speak in a moment. So if you guys ever have any questions about this stuff, I have something I do call it a baptism course. It's just it goes for about an hour. It's just a PowerPoint presentation. It goes through a bunch of scripture. It has 3 parts. The first part explains what Jesus did for you. What did he do with his sins? It talks about how we get cleaned from the sins that we've done. And the second part is how do we respond to that? What's the appropriate way to respond? Because a lot of people, there's like, did I do it right? I don't know if I did it right. And so we go through how to do it right. And then the third actually goes through what the symbolism of baptism means. So it takes about an hour. So if any of you are curious about that doesn't mean you have to be baptized if you do the course. All it means is you and I get to spend some time together and I get to explain all this stuff to you so that you have your eyes wide open. Does that make sense? So I've done that with Candice, and I actually did it with someone else this morning, which is very fun. And I think I've got another couple booked in, so awesome. I'm going to hand over to Candice now. Give her a warm welcome.
Hey guys. On the 19th of November, we were in Jesus Group / the cross-culture lunch program. I really recommend it to some of you guys, even the 12s. Anyone who wants to grow in their faith with God. We were in the program and the topic was really emotional to one of my friends, and they asked me to go outside and pray for them. While I was praying, I felt this really special emotion, and I felt like I should be baptized. We went back in and finished the program, and after that I stayed after and asked Pastor Matt if I could make my baptism appointment. I did it, and I know I was ready to be baptized.
Awesome. So now, Candice, I'm just going to ask you a couple of questions and then put you under water. Is that cool? All right. So, Candice, do you believe that Jesus is the Son of God, that he died and rose again for your sins?
Yes.
Candice, have you actually asked him to come into your life and be your Lord and Savior?
Yes.
Well, on your confession of faith, Candice, it's my privilege to baptize you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Yeah, it's good. Right. You ready?
Yep.
Awesome, let's pray for Candice. Father God, thank you so much for this young life that's already at the young age she's realised, yeah, she's sinned, she's fallen short of God's glorious standard, but she's already recognised who you are, what you've done for her, the fact that you've given her this opportunity to come back into a relationship with you. That's a beautiful thing, Father God. Thank you that you brought her to this place. That us pray that you will fill her with your Spirit, that you will speak to her, that every time she opens the Bible, that you just really make it obvious, that you just pop out and just speak to her and really clearly. Teach her more about you. Help her grow in her ways, in your ways. Help her. I would just ask that you will mould her to be the woman of God that I know you want her to be. Or continue, because she already is. So God, thank you so much for her. Be with her. We ask in Jesus' name.
Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say. Say what you need to say.